I don't want to ruin this. Uh, Everybody go here, and let's go to the actual. So I'm live. You guys can listen to what I am saying and all of that. Hi Soda, and hi everyone. Hi Trey, hi Lord Enenil, hi Interior Crocodile Alligator, hello El Loco Videojueguil, hello everyone. This is Skapokon Q&A live. And what is this exactly? It's going to be a Q&A, and it's going to be live. It's exactly what it says. You guys can drop questions in the chat, and I'm going to, and whenever I find one that's interesting, I'm going to reply to it, of course. And if there is like dead hours, like in the sense that nobody has any questions to ask me, I will check, because I made a doc on Word with a few questions that people ask me on other social media, mainly on Discord DMs. It's mainly for people who couldn't come here because time zones, and a lot of people are at school. Stay in school, kids. It's much more important than Skapokon. So the first question is that what did I think about the Mario Maker 2 Direct? I never played the original Mario Maker. I never had a Wii U, and I wasn't really interested in the 3DS version, but this one really feels like a worthy successor. They have a lot of cool they have a lot of new cool things. I'm mainly interested in the multiplayer, because from the new Super Mario Bros. Games, the best part is always the multiplayer. I absolutely love grabbing people and throwing them away, and the fact that we are going to be able to do that online on any level with a lot of other games, not just new Super Mario Bros. Oh yeah, and the 3D world style. I really like that. It There is so many new things, and for the most part during the trailer, all I could think of it was this is actually a level creator. This feels like it was officially made by Nintendo. It's going to be amazing. So, Mikey O'Brien, what's my favorite animated movie? Not sure if I would say if it's my favorite, but it's the one that's. Whenever I think of myself and animated films, I always think of A Bug's Life. For some reason, that movie always stuck to me. It's the one movie that, when it comes to Pixar, a lot of people like. A lot of people like a lot of the movies, but they often forget about A Bug's Life. But I really like it. The animation, I still think it looks amazing, and the characters are a lot of fun. The music, the atmosphere, the message about working together. I love Flick. He's the best, especially in the Spanish version, where he's voiced by Jordi Cruz. Okay, so are you into sports? No, I am not into sports, especially not football or soccer or however you are going to call it. Given the last events of Star versus the Forces of Evil, actually, I'm not going to talk about Star versus the Forces of Evil, because I still have 2 episodes left to watch, and also I don't want to make any sort of spoilers. All I'm going to say it's really they are really throwing all they have into the finale. It's going to be a great finale. So from Soda, we have any comics or maybe animated series you would recommend? Uh, there are a lot of animated series and comics I would like to recommend. So basically anything that's in my load in general. Uh, for instance, of course, I have to recommend Paranatural. It's that webcomic I'm going to make a character from it in Low Nova. It's Isabel, not the dog from Animal Crossing, the girl with a book. Uh, it's a really interesting comic. It's a lot of fun. I have never read a comic in which in every single page there is a joke that I find funny, especially with the whole thing that if you grab your mouse and hover the mouse over the different pages, they have like small texts saying minor jokes, and they are a lot of fun. And the characters are really great, and the all the different plot synopses, and they somehow made a filler character, a filler chapter a lot of fun. There's a chapter in which they play dodgeball. It's so much fun. As for animated series, I'm currently watching a regular show. It's yeah, I haven't finished it. Of course, I watched it when it was uh, currently running, but I never watched it from start to finish, and I'm actually doing it, and I find it's hilarious. That's how it's just so much fun. I know it's formulaic. I know that some of the characters can be really stupid. Like for example, Rigby. I hate Rigby. He's the worst. But the show it's a lot of fun. So yeah, Paranatural, regular show. Those are my recommendations for today. Do you like Team Fortress 2? I have played Team Fortress 2, but it's not a game I have really played a lot because my computer is not all that much for games. And even a game like Team Fortress 2 is too powerful for my computer, and I'm also not really a fan of shooters. Like, I think that the only shooters that I have really played a lot are like Battlefront 2, but the old one, not the new one, and Splatoon. But besides that, I'm not really a fan of shooters. So, were there any rivals you originally had planned for your characters? Uh, well, I have had a few scrapped rivals in a way. For example, for I'm not going to reveal it. I'm not going to reveal the current one, but originally for Star Butterfly, I had Banvre Warrior from Mighty Magiswords, and it was a fun series. I didn't hate it as much as everybody did, but I found someone that I felt that interested me more than Banbury. Plus, her show was cancelled very early on, so yeah, she's probably not coming back anytime soon. I also thought of having Ned Flanders for Bart because of that one episode in which they fire Skinner and then Flanders has to take over his place. But then I thought, the reason I made Flanders the rival was because I didn't want to go for the obvious Skinner versus Bart. But then I thought, I actually want to make Bart. Why am I avoiding making Bart? And yeah, we have Bart, and he has a chair. So first of all, before that, I'm going to reply to this one question: Why am I so pretty? Okay. Uh, are any video games you would recommend that you find enjoyable, or best game you have played, or any games I would like to recommend? So, yeah, when it comes to favorite video games, I often have like a bunch of them because I really cannot go and say, yeah, this is my favorite game of all time. First of all, I would say Smash Brothers. All Super Smash Brothers, like 64, even if it's old, Melee, even if it's glitchy, uh, Brawl, even though it was really unbalanced and it had the tripping, uh, Smash for Wii U and 3DS, even though it had almost no content, and even though Ultimate basically is Smash 4 but with a lot of more stuff, I don't think I have played a game as much as Smash, and I don't think that the more I don't think uh, I would say I have played a Smash game that has made me say, ugh, no, I don't like this Smash game. I love all of them. And besides Smash, of course, there is Rayman 2, amazing game. I love Rayman 2. If I ever make a video game, it will be like Rayman 2. That's how much I like him. Or Kirby. A lot of Kirby games I like, much like Smash, but I would say that my favorite is Return to Dreamland or Adventure Wii, depending on your region. Out of the modern ones, it's probably the one that has like the most interesting sort of design. I love the bosses, I love the power ups. Planet Robobot is close. 64. I love 64 with the mixing of abilities and the puzzles. The puzzles are really good. And more games, of course, Joy Makes Fight. Play Joy Makes Fight. It's actually on Switch. Yeah, but only in the Japanese version of the Switch. So you basically have to make a Japanese account and download the whole Nintendo Switch Online app. So imagine you have to make an account just for just to play Game Fight, but it's so worth it. Also, Jack and Daxter, the first one, it's a game I really want to play again because it's it's so much fun. I love collectathons. And speaking of Jack and Daxter, Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped from the same people, childhood classic. So above there was someone saying that what was my thoughts on Edgeworld. I'm not really a fan of Edgeworld. Not that I hate it, of course. I think it's kind of funny. It's just I haven't played it as much. Any announcers planned for load? The thing with the announcers is that they are kind of hard to make. They are kind of hard to make the announcers because I'm not very good at sentence mixing. So I will probably make just to make the announcements. The announcers, I will probably replace it with the menu assistants from my final, from Stages Volume 3. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do for now. It's going to be like this little assistant. It's kind of based on uh, Jump Ultimate Stars. It had something very similar to that. So, what character do you want? Someone says what characters I want to show from my older roster. That's a secret. So, what characters I want to see in Smash Ultimate? Sukapon, of course. I love Sukapon. I love that he's an assist trophy, but next time make him playable, please, please. I love Joy McFight. Okay, but in general, I really like when they take very old, obscure characters and put them in LOL. No, not in LOL, in Smash Bros. That's why I would also really like to see Leap the Fairy from Panel de Pon. It's this one puzzle game about fairies that in uh, every single time they release the game, they make it with a with another series, but it's a lot of fun. And yeah, they could basically make a puzzle character with flowers and things like that. And I would also really love to see Rayman, of course. I love Rayman, and he basically has the moveset already, like with Origins and Legends. He already has like all the punches and the kicks, and basically you just have to take Rayman Legends Rayman and put a few, give him grabs and specials, and that's it. You have Rayman. So yeah, but there's a lot of characters I want to see in Smash. Uh, yeah, it seems that I love Kaban from Kemono Friends. Well, Kemono Friends was mixed. I think it was fine, but it's not a show I would really recommend because it's a bit slow at first. But I really like Kaban. She's basically me. She's someone who doesn't really appreciate her own abilities because she's constantly seeing the others and seeing that they have much better skills than her, and therefore she doesn't appreciate the fact that she's the only one who can cook, she's the only one who can read, she's the only one who can uh, use fire. So she basically struck a chord to me. And honestly, if I ever cosplay, I would probably cosplay Kavan. Uh, some people asked if I like JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. I love JoJo's. It's my favorite, not my favorite anime. I'm completely going out of my mind, but I really like JoJo's. The especially part 4. I thought that part was really great because um, it's hard to explain. I really like the whole mystery surrounding the main villain. I love how in the original, in the other ones, it was like more of heroes from like a super comic book or Greek mythology. They had superpowers. They were really cool. But in part 4, everything is more grounded. They are people you would find in real life, but with powers. And I really like how uh, everything takes place in this very small town. Therefore, they make it very close. It really hit close to home because I also live in a very small town. But yeah, part 4 is my favorite one. I'm also watching part 5, the one with the mafia, and it's also fun. But I miss the Duang. I miss the old group. I miss Yosuke and Okuyasu and Koichi. So someone said if I'm going to put Dabuguard in LOL, uh, yeah, he doesn't really have any material because Dabuguard doesn't appear in his videos. I'm also not really going to respond to, are you going to put this character in LOL? Because that's for why empty slots are for, basically. I'm not going to confirm nor deny anything. So, do you remember who is your waifu? Um, More suggestions. Who is your favorite Meguka? Oh yeah, from like the magical girls from Madoka Magica. Uh, Possibly Homura, of course. I think that she had the most amount of development in the show. Basically, with how she appears at first, and she doesn't really have much of importance. She's always kind of warning the others about the consequences of becoming a magical girl. And then we see the whole story of how she basically goes back in time constantly and with a lot of. I just really like time traveling. I love time traveling a lot. If I ever had a power, I would probably be. It will probably have to do with time, because I think it will be really useful to just stop time, uh, and go back in time to solve problems, go faster whenever I'm in a very bored mood, and I just want things to quick to. So yeah, that's why I love Homura. Uh, do I like FNAF or like Five Nights at Freddy's? No, I don't like horror games. What's my favorite JoJo's? Uh, Possibly Joseph. Uh, he was a lot of fun in part two, because basically part one was kind of boring, so having part two with the main character, uh, part two with the main character as Joseph, he was much more fun. He trolled people a lot. He has the whole your next line will be, and then in part in part three, he as the old man, he was a lot of fun, like this sort of mentor figure. And I love how when he says, "Oh my god," those. I love his voice acting. May he rest in peace. So someone above asked if where did I find this hat? It was from a comic convention here called Mancha Comic. So cannot help you there, boy. What are my favorite videos from every user in the Ravensverse? Uh, there's kind of a lot of people in the Ravensverse, but it's kind of complicated. I think that deserves its own sort of. It's a very long answer, so I would prefer if it was a more of a individually. But I would say that my favorites are like the collab specials, because I really like the whole. There is a review. There is a little thing in the middle. Then there's another review. It's really cool to see all the talents from all the different people. It's why I really like my not Halloween special, because I just get to see a lot of people doing the things that they like, and that's why I like it. So, what superpower would I have? Uh, as I said, the power of controlling time. How exactly would I do it? Basically, have you guys ever played Blinks the Time Sweeper? That's me. That's me if I had powers. Because basically, when it comes to the control of time, most like characters with control of time just can only do like one thing. But Blinks can do a lot of ones. So yeah, I would like to have all of those powers. And maybe also like fixing things, like breaking something and being able to repair it very quickly. Of course, I'm thinking of JoJo's again. My favorite legendary Pokemon. I know who my. Oh yeah, it's the Deoxys. I really like the whole idea of the Deoxys being this alien creature, and the whole thing with his many forms. That's I really like Deoxys because of that. I love how he can turn between different forms, with the defense and attack and speed. Yeah, I really liked the Oxys back then. I mean, I still really like him now. I'm not sure if he's good in the competitive play because I have no idea about Pokemon, but I like the Oxys. Um, no, I don't like wrestling. No, I'm not making John Sheldon the mirror. Uh, do you have any influences for Retro Pokemon? Oh yeah, so my two main influences are first of all, it's definitely the nostalgia critic, of course. I know that he's not very beloved nowadays, but he basically inspired my whole style. Mainly his review of the Blues Brothers video game. That's basically where I took the influence of how I make Retropocon reviews. And also Rareza Jugable, a Spanish show that I used to really like. Now I really hate. And basically, he gave me this whole idea of, oh yeah, I can make videos on YouTube. Uh, so yeah, those are my favorites. What's an unpopular opinion that you would, uh, you feel it? No. And I don't like talking about unpopular opinions. I'm sorry. My favorite end review. Uh, I really can't tell. I need to watch more end reviews. Is it cheating to say the one in which I was in? No, probably the one about the Mugen game with all the cartoon characters. I thought that one was a lot of fun because of the nostalgic style and basically analyzing a Mugen game but much more in depth. So yeah, I would say that one. Uh, did you ever get into Yu-Gi-Oh? I only played Yu-Gi-Oh because I had bootleg cards. And I basically played the game not knowing what it was all about. I basically just said, "Oh, this character has 1,000, so he must be very strong." That's how I played Yu-Gi-Oh back then. Don't judge me. I didn't even watch the cartoon. My favorite Gravity Falls character is probably Mabel. I think she's just a very overall fun character to have around. Uh, Even though she's kind of selfish a few times, but she gets to learn her lesson. I feel she really, uh, I don't know, she's just one of the funniest characters in the show, in my opinion. I also really like Dipper. Why? Why do you think I like Dipper? Uh, what would I like to do with my robots in the future? I would really like to make a movie. I would like to make a movie about my robots that has like no reviews. Yeah, no reviews, and it's also not the funny. Oh, let's take this movie and make the and instead of reviewing it, I will make the same arguments, the same plot, but with my characters, and that's the review. No, no, no. I want to make like the Retropocon movie, like a cool adventure with my characters, with a full script, maybe some character development. It ties into the lore. Yeah, I would like to make an original movie. My favorite SpongeBob side character. Hmm. Hmm. That's that's an interesting question. Uh, because I don't know what do you mean by side character. Do you mean like Larry the Lobster side character, or do you mean like Doodle Bob side character, like a character who only appears once? Uh, I would say that like my favorite sort of side character is King Neptune. I love when they use. I love when shows have like a deity, like a god figure, and the fact that they made Neptune the the god, I really like that. And the fact that they say, "Oh my Neptune," uh, comedy classic. Uh, for this one question I have here, uh, like with the LOL ones, I'm not going to say, "Will you ever make this?" Because again, that's just why the empty slots are for. Who do I prefer, Dio or Kira? Uh, yeah, it's the JoJo question time. Kira. Basically because he's actually very scary. And the fact that I had a neighbor that was basically Kira. So, yeah. Uh, I really like again the power of the of going back in time with Bite the Dust. Even though Dio also controls time, but shh. Mm-hmm. I'm a fan of reanimated collabs. I really am a fan of reanimated collabs. Basically, with the whole, there are a few things that I can only watch the reanimated one, like the Dover Boys. I really cannot watch the original. I can only watch the one in which everyone is incredibly. I can. Everyone is drawn in a different way, and the faces that Dan Backslide makes, like when he says, "Dora will be alone and unprotected," and he moves the eyebrows. I love that part in the reanimated, but yeah, they are a lot of fun, and also like not exactly reanimated, but Shrek Retold was also very different, but I kind of wish the animation was. I kind of wish sometimes when I see a reanimated collab, all I can think of is why isn't this part the whole thing? Because it's so well animated. But yeah, the fun thing is the many styles. Which is my spirit animal? The capybara. Nobody knows about this animal, but it's. You probably have seen these videos of, oh, there is this animal who is friendly with everyone. That's the capybara, and I want to have one because they love everyone, much like me. I love all animals. I love all people. I want to hug every single one of you. Guilty pleasures. Uh, Lego Star Wars 2 for the Nintendo DS. That game is glitchy as fuck. And yeah, I said the F word. Because, for example, you can go on the cutscenes, you can move on the cutscenes and kill everybody. There is this one part in the movie, like when Leia gives everyone the medals, and you can move around and kill everybody. That's the best part of the entire game. And you can enter on foot levels with the spaceships. And one of the characters is the guy at the cantina. And he can fly. He can fly. You can. He's like. He flies. So yeah, that's great. What was my favorite childhood game on the Game Boy? Wario Land. That's the first game I have ever played, and I really like how it was. Like I had Super Mario Land 2, which is also a really good game, but Wario was like taking Mario and making him violent, and I really like the focus on breaking things and getting money, and I really like the ending. I really like the ending in which, depending on the money that you have, you get a better castle, and if you get all the money, you get a planet with Wario's face. and I really hope they bring that back. I want to see Wario's Planet again. Wait, there was one question I didn't see. My new main in Smash Ultimate. I think that means like my favorite newcomer because my main is Kirby, but he's been in every single game. Literally, he's in every single game. But when it comes to the newcomers, it's definitely Isabel. She's a lot of fun. The villager was already a lot of fun, but there is something about her that I like more. Like most, for example, the fishing rod. It's the most it's the most annoying move of all time. You can throw the fishing rod and just reel it back, and it will always hit. I don't know how. And she's also really cute in general, and I love cute characters. I really like that one victory in which she does this and then goes. It's the funniest thing ever, at least for me, not for the people I play against. Uh, my opinion on the Crash Team Racing remake. I want to play it so much because at this point it's not even a remake. At this point, because they basically just they added so many things. They have everything from Nitro Kart. They have different costumes, and they all look good. And everybody looks so much uh, polished and cute. And you can play as the characters in the old forms. And oh, I'm fangirling again. But yeah, the thing about Insane Trilogy is that yeah, it was a cool remake, but I wish they added more things. They added more levels and maybe even more characters, given how they added Coco. And in this one, they are basically doing what they wanted. They are giving all of it. Uh, Konata versus Omaru. I don't watch Lucky Star, sorry. Favorite food? Possibly hamburgers. No matter which one, I always enjoy a good hamburger with cheese. And I also, not sure if this counts as food, but popcorn. There is something about popcorn that none other food has. And whenever I go to the cinema, basically I lose all of the popcorn at the first time. I eat it all. I love popcorn. That's why is so obsessed with popcorn. What is my favorite modern is revival of a classic game franchise? Kid Icarus Uprising. We need to have more games like Kid Icarus Uprising. They basically took a game on the NES and they completely revitalized and they make it into a cartoon. I love the characters. I love the whole idea of all the weapons. I love how they got a few things from Super Smash Brothers in there. I love the system of difficulty. Pete is the cutest thing ever. I want to pinch his cheeks. Yeah, Kid Icarus Uprising. I want to see a sequel to Kid Icarus Uprising, and I want to see more games given the Uprising style. Jar Jar Binks versus Charlotte. Jar Jar Binks, he wins automatically because no matter what, he always wins. Thoughts on Vocaloid? I'm not really into Vocaloid, but I don't know. The characters are cute. They are the fact that they all do this with a very hard to use program, because I don't use Vocaloid, but I have used Miku Miku Dance for the Seha Girls moveset. That thing is hard. And the fact that someone can make like both the modeling and animation and also like the voices and composing the music and all of that, it's really good. And yeah, it's not really my thing because I'm not really into Japanese pop or even music in general. I'm not a music nerd. But yeah, the fact that they basically took all of this lore and all of those things into this one collective universe. Yeah, I love it. Not necessarily love it, but I respect it. Also, Miku says trans rights. Uh, which ones do you have more from questions? Uh, oh yeah, I have an Undertale poster, don't I? Yeah, I have a lot of posters here, but Undertale is the only one that it's actually seen. As for who my favorite Undertale character is, I'm going. Yeah, I often really get attached to characters that are somewhat similar to me. So, of course, my favorite character from Undertale is probably Alphys. I didn't like her at first, because I didn't like how she was constantly with her mobile phone saying, uh, meow meow kissy cutie, that's the worst. But when I played the game again, I I really had a lot. Basically, I played it with someone else who didn't know English, so I basically translated the game and I also dubbed it. And voicing Alphys was a lot of fun. I gave her this very squeaky voice that was like, "Oh no, Undyne, she's going to know about this," and I really enjoyed it. And she's a big nerd, and even though the whole thing she did of forcing you into this whole adventure just so she feels better, that's kind of morally bad, but I can see where she's coming from. Sometimes we just really need to be appreciated, and with the whole thing of the amalgams, you basically can tell why Alphys wants to be more beloved. So what other posters there are that we cannot see? The thing is, I'm with my computer, so I can't. So there is Made in Abyss. There is. Oh no. Yeah, I will simply say it because doing it with a computer moving it is not. So I have a Crash Bandicoot one. I have one of Bart. I have the Made in Abyss that you basically kind of saw, and there is one of Gravity Falls, and one from One Piece, and one from My Hero Academia. Uh, Honestly, I don't want to see. I don't want to see Undertale in Smash because the game is very peaceful. If anything, I would like to see more of Deltarune in Smash. Yeah, bring me Susie in Smash. And mainly the thing about Undertale is that uh, mm, a lot of people want to see Sans. I kind of don't want to see Sans, uh, mainly because, yeah, Sans has a lot of legit fans. But most of the people who want Sans in Smash want him because of the memes, and I personally don't really like the Sans memes. They are fine sometimes, but basically they all, a lot of the times, they are simply, oh, look at this character, they have one eye. Tururutu. That's all there is to the Sans memes. Sometimes it's funny, but other times it's just taking Megalovania and putting it a little bit. And that's the joke. Also, Megalovania from Homestuck is much better from that than Megalovania from Undertale. And that kind of replies to that question there was a while ago about unpopular opinions. So I'm going to go through some of my uh, oh hi Robit. Some of my saved questions from Discord. Uh, how did I come up with Irene back in the days? like Irene from the Looking Glass. Basically, I got introduced to Irene through the Frollo show, and I played the game. And as someone who doesn't really like Yumeniki or games that are similar to Yumeniki, I actually really liked the Looking Glass, mainly because it actually had dialogue. So yeah, that's one of the. Oh yeah, Matrix, who you can see in the chat, he's actually the one who asked me that question. So yeah. Uh, Another question I have from him is that who are my most wanted Smash newcomers? I already replied to that. Sukapon, Lip, and Rayman, basically. And what made me choose Game Boy as the general tone or theme for LoL Nova? Well, it all started because of one collab image that was made for the LoL Discord. No, not the Discord group, for Facebook. And it was basically like this very ginormous image with a lot of characters from a lot of LOLs. And then the creator of the image made us an alternative version in which every character from every LOL had a different color. And the color that was chosen for LOL Nova was a color that was described as Game Boy Green. And also the fact that someone told me that LoL Nova, it doesn't have the fancy Sony Vegas or like pure video pad or Premiere thing. It's made with pivots, so it's kind of more limited. But the limitation, it's kind of like working around limitations and making things look really good in spite of the program. And that kind of reminds me of like portable games. They had a lot of basically whenever they had to take a game from a desktop console, from a home console, and made it into portable, they had to basically cut corners but still make it look good. And that's how I sort of feel about Nova. So yeah, between that and the other thing, I said Game Boy. It really came very naturally to me. Basically, I also really like yellow, I like green, and that color is a mixture of green and yellow, so it's my color now. Don't steal it. Out of all the levels in A Hat in Time that I have played, what is my favorite one? There are a lot of levels I enjoyed in A Hat in Time. But oh dude, it's probably Train Rush. I love that level so much. It's the one in which you basically have to run away from a collapsing train and reach to the start in time record with a lot of swinging and launching and all of that. It's an incredibly fun level. And then yeah, that's my favorite level. And from the boss, the final boss, not gonna spoil it, I really like it, all the different forms. I'm not gonna say who the final boss is, don't worry. Do I prefer playing games on PC or consoles? Probably on consoles because my PC is garbage. But I use it for emulation. How do you make tier lists for LoL Nova? It's harder to make because they are video and not real gameplay. Well, nah, I don't actually make a tier list for LoL Nova. I get informed, other people, mainly Cheesy, the creator of LoL What If. He really informs us about it. really informs us. Uh, he really informs me. I'm brain fart. He informs me about, oh yeah, this character is completely broken. You have to fix it. And this character is absolute garbage. You basically have to rework the entire thing. And that's great. I like it. I like that someone is taking inspiration from my show and telling me that, yeah, this is good, but it can be improved. I really appreciate that more over than, oh yeah, every single character is great, even John. No DLC fighters in Low Nova. It doesn't really matter that there are. In an online series, does it really matter? Like DLC? It's downloadable content. Uh, oh yeah, before some Soda told me to check my messages. Yeah, I will do that later. Is it me or is Toon K. Rool kind of a shorty? Shorty as in he's small? Or do you mean like short stack? Like very small, but they have like big boobs and butt? Are you telling me that Toon K. Rool is a short stack? Don't say that Toon K. Rool is a short stack, dude. Why? So, which is my favorite Retropocon fan-made content? Skapokonoid. I love Skapokonoid. It was a birthday present by my brother, and it was a very fun Arkanoid game starring Skapokon. And why? And I love how he eats the head. The head is the ball. And the using the music from Joy McFight was also a great idea. And honestly, there is not much more Retropocon fan-made content. And there's not much Retropocon fan-made content, so I really cannot say much. But I really like the fan art that I get. What's my longest Skapokonoid run? I actually finished the game, so my longest run was the entire thing. Who would I main in LoL Nova? That's an interesting question, because there's a lot of characters I would like to play as, but I would probably go with like Jade Harley and Star Butterfly. That would be another one. Mega Drive from the Sega Hard Girls, and possibly Hat Kid as well, possibly, and Joel. Why not? There are a lot of people I want to main in my game, mainly because it's my game. Why? So why is Metalhead a fighter, a mirror fighter, rather than an alternative costume? I felt he would be different enough, mainly because Metalhead is only from one episode, so I cannot really recreate all of the animations entirely. But so I made him into a mirror fighter. Plus, I had the whole idea of, him being much more slower, but he's more powerful, and he has things like the head. He can throw his head, he can kick the head, and he can do the funny pain in the backside. No, I have never tried watching Greeny Phantom the movie. Go Animate was enough. Besides Joy McFight, of course, what would you say is an underrated fighting game or fighting game series? I don't really play much of fighting games, honestly, but oh yeah, I know, it's Jump. the Jump Stars series, like the 2D ones on the Nintendo DS. I love those games so goddamn much. Uh, yeah, I really like the whole idea of this very big manga crossover, and the characters are made into a team, which are the manga komas, and you can have both characters and support, which are literally just the spirits from Smash Ultimate, and assists, and they have Bobobo in it. I love Bobobo. Yeah, sometimes it can be a bit mushy. Like you can basically win the game by just at the buttons. But I love Jump a lot. It's my favorite Smash like game. That's not Smash. So yeah, alongside the Ultimate Fight, play Jump Superstars and Jump Ultimate Stars. Not the new one, not Jump Force. God, that looks awful. Uh, who else? Uh, Out of the new characters you announced, who are the one you are most excited to work on? I have, oh yeah, Worm, because it's probably the one I have completely made, and by completely made I mean that I have the normals made. I love Worms, dude. It's one of those games. I forgot to mention Worms when I talk about my favorite games. God damn it! I love those games a lot. They are kind of like what Smash Bros is for fighting games. Worms is that for strategy games. Anyone can play it. Anyone can have fun. But if you go completely nuts and become an expert, just watch like videos on Worms Armageddon with the whole rope. Those are amazing. Uh, I'm going to skip this one, okay? I don't like remembering that. No, I have never watched Konjin House. Uh, what's Worms about? It's this one game about worms with weapons. And you have a team of worms, and by turns, you basically have to shoot people and be the last one standing. And the stage is completely breakable. Anything you do can break the stage, and you have a lot of crazy weapons. You have you have things like a shotgun, a bazooka, a grenade, but then you have like an exploding ship. You have a giant donkey who falls from the sky and destroys everything. So yeah, that's a lot of fun. If you ever made a Mugen game, would your roster be different from Nova? I wouldn't make Nova in Mugen. I would make Nova in the LOL game. So yeah, it would be different. If anything, I would make a Retropocon fighting game. Do you play any more anime games like fighting games or visual novels? I was really into that one, into Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3. I probably butchered that pronunciation. But I really like that game. It was basically everyone is here in this Dragon Ball fighting game, so it was a lot of fun. And I was also really into this One Piece game on the Wii, which was like an adventure game, but it had a fighting game mode. I don't remember what it was called though, so I cannot recommend it because I don't know what the name was. As for visual novels, I want to play more of those, but the only one I have played was Monster Prom, and that one was a visual model mixed with party game. My least favorite moveset I have ever made is probably Elsa. Even after the patch, I am not really a fan of her. I really it's a moveset I basically have to start from the very start because it was being creative for being creative, and without the creativity, it's just bare bones. Also, ASDF guy because it was random for being random, and everybody was is watching everyone is watching ASDF guy. It's the moveset that's the most popular on my channel. So yeah, those are the ones. Oh yeah, also Guidance Speed is my least favorite from LOL Nova. I think that the only joke was it's Codex Snake, and the fact that the inspiration clips were so long. It was bad on purpose, but it's so much tedious to watch now. I already talked about my favorite foods, popcorn and burgers. Uh, I don't know why this question. So I'm going to. I already talked about the Mario Maker Direct 2. Lots of fun. Cutscene Final Smash. I already have cutscene Final Smash. In fact, in my update patch, I said that some of the Final Smashes that were cutscenes the now the cutscenes are long can be skipped. Like we have Deeper with the cutscene in which he gets the book. We have Isma in which she says, "Looking for this." And for example, ASDF guy with who parked the car on my sandwich. Yeah, I have a lot of cutscene Final Smashes, like Six Shot in LOL Zero. Why that example? That's not the first cutscene Final Smash, not nor one of the more recent ones. Like no offense to LOL Zero, but it's not. I wouldn't say it's like. It would be like saying, "Will you make an upbeat that makes you fly like Nicolas Cage?" I don't know. It's a thing that's in a lot of LOLs. I don't know why it's exclusive to Six Shot. What's my favorite LOL other than Nova? A lot of them. Beatdown. What If? El Neo. Uh, the original, of course. You cannot beat the original. Uh, which ones? Soul. Soul is really good and really recent. And which ones am I missing? Yeah, they are. There are a lot of LOLs that I enjoy. Basically, everybody that I follow has a LOL that I like. What's my favorite moveset from the Skapokon's LOL era? Like before the patch, Captain N. I really like how Captain N came out. Basically, because even if we have, even if they are a bit, Captain N is a bit complex, but I really like the whole idea of being able to switch between the different partners in the fly and with the batteries, and they do a lot of things. What movesets from other LOLs are you looking forward to? Uh, Possibly there are a lot of movesets I want to see. Uh, for example, from Beatdown, I really want to see the Crystal Gems. From What If, I want to see Midoriya from My Hero Academia. Uh, what else? Soul. Uh, we are getting a lot of great characters from LOL Soul, like Bob Ross or uh, Marty McFly. Also, I really like. I really want to see the Powerpuff Girls in LOL Quartz. That's the one moveset I really want to see in that LOL. And basically with you are my twin. I really like you, Soda. How's Wally doing? the thing is, I have two houses, and Wally is not in the one I'm now, but he's probably doing fine. He's probably in. He's probably at home sleeping with VC. Ugh, my neck. Ugh. Uh, am I the only one who lost track of all the good lols? Well, there are a lot of good lols. I don't blame you. I cannot hear what he's saying. I don't speak I'm speaking in English. I'm speaking in English. You don't understand? uh, I know that my accent is not the best. It's very Spanish, but do you really don't understand what I'm saying? I don't know. New plan for Retropocon or Dark Side of the Fans. Retropocon, it's probably going to be in a little more, because my last video was the Super Mario Land 4 review, and that one was very recent, so it's probably not the next video is not going to be Retropocon. But for the Dark Side of the Fans, the next one is going to be Red Leo Media, because of the voting poll. As for the other categories, from Anti-Cinema Time, we have the Donkey Kong cartoon. Not the Donkey Kong Country cartoon, the Donkey Kong cartoon from the 80s. And Mara and the Firebringer. And from the light side of the fans, we are going to have Mr. Psycho Waluigi. Great game. Also, yeah, two houses, because my town doesn't have college, so my town doesn't have college, so I basically stay into another one. I have to stay in another one whenever I have to go to college, and in that one, Wally's not in. Actually, hold on a second, because Wally is actually in this house. Hello, hi Wally. I'm keeping him. He's going to be mine forever. So, hold on. I saw an interesting question. What is my favorite translation of my videos so far? I like all of them, because you guys are translating my videos. That's all I want to. That's all I wanted. So I don't have any preferences. I just really like the fact that you guys are translating my things. Why do you think Facebook sucks so much? It just does. I don't like using Facebook. It's slow and it's very... And the chat sucks. And the groups are bad. The notification, even if you check the notifications, they still say you have those notifications. It really sucks. Oh, hi Esri. So, where is Bill Record now? Or, well, he said Bill Record. I really don't have more plans for Bill Record for now, because he's kind of like a main villain, so I don't really want to use him. I want to use him very scarcely. I want to use him for an interesting situation. So who's John DeMico? So he's the creator of the John Show, and it's a very bad show. I made a review for it for my first anniversary special. Um, he became aware of my reviews. He made a remake. The remake is even worse because it's boring, and he made a character who was just Darpokon, who was like the most generic uh, clone ever. Who else? My favorite shows from my childhood. Pingu. I love Pingu. I love Pingu. When I was a child, I watched that thing all the day. I understood all of it, despite the fact it was like. Also, Mirmo, or I think it was like Mirmo Sibang. It was this one anime about a girl who found like a little jester dude who had maracas, and he could grant wishes. And it was, I watched that show a lot, and all of my every it was a lot of like humans who had these uh, jester kids, and I just really have a lot of good memories. It reminds me a lot of Kirby, because it was like very cute, very adorable, very sugary, and but then it had like dark moments, and there was a girl who was possessed, and there was aliens. It was the best. No, it was not Thatch Bell. It was Mirmo. Thatch Bell, I also watched it, but less. Uh, please, please, Exotic 7, please don't do that. Don't go on streams asking, oh, am I bad? That's only going to make things worse. Sorry. And you are only annoying when you want to. That's all I'm going to say on the matter. Next question. Uh, which robot voice do you enjoy making the most? Oh, I know that answer. It's White's voice. It's a lot of fun to make this voice. Mhm. And also Sirpocon's amazing British voice. It's very exquisite. Ah, there's a lot of gloom. Okay. Uh, out of all the characters from Bandolero in Canal Sur. Oh, yeah, that show. It was a long time ago when I watched that show, so I don't know which one would have the most moveset potential. I would say Bandolero because, it's the main protagonist, and I think most of the times the main protagonist is just the way to go. But I'm not very familiar, and that question is kind of like a more. It's kind of like these guys. Will you make this character? So very sorry. So what are exactly the menu assists in Low Nova? Basically, they are. You know how in Smash or basically any game, whenever you select a mode, there is a little text that says this mode does this thing. The menu assists are basically taking that idea and making it a bit more unique, because you basically choose the character, and that character is the one that interests you, no, that introduces you to the modes. So basically, if you pick Skapokon, for example, he's going to be the regular assist. He's just going to tell you what does it do. But for example, if you pick Glossaryk from Star vs. the Forces of Evil, he will explain things in like rhymes and riddles, and you will not understand anything. And if you pick Toon Cranky, he's going to hit you and say, don't play this mode, it's too difficult for you, you casual. Now I want to go to sleep. Who else? Yeah, that's what the menu assist does. It's basically just something for fun. I already said what was my favorite LOL. Is Skapokon the robot a representation of the real you or a character you made? He's basically an avatar of me, but he's not exactly me. Like some of the things that I have, Skapokon doesn't have. Um, Probably the biggest example is that recently I came out as a trans girl, and Skapokon hasn't. I just think he's just a different entity from me. I don't really want to make him exactly who I am because that would imply a lot of dirty, weird things being put in funny show about funny robots. So yeah, I'm different. Uh, are there any characters you would like to add to Nova but you cannot think of a moveset? Uh, Not really. If I add someone in Nova, it's basically because they have moveset material. I did have that problem with Joel, but not because of the moveset, but because I didn't know how to represent him. But then I found cool animations, and here we are with Joel, and he knows about the moveset and he thinks it's a real game. Which are my mains in various lows? Much like with the Revenge Bears question, I really cannot just go over every single low and the mains I would make because that's just such a long question. But so yeah, just tell me a load and I will say who my main from that load will be. I don't know. Just it's just for an example, just not to be like I'm dodging the question from the original. I will probably play as Eve because I really like Eve and she's broken. Uh, who else? What kind of breed is Wally? He's a Rockruff. He's a Pokemon. No, but for real, he's a crossbreed. He's not like an actual breed. I know he's part Biginese. I think that's how it's called in English, like the little ones with a lot of hair. And I know that her mother was a Chihuahua, but yeah, he's not any specific breed. He is uh he is a dog. That's why I say. What kind of music do I hear? I listen to a lot of chiptune and video game music in general, but I'm not really a fan of like I'm not really a music person in general. But when it comes, I basically just gravitate towards the funny, the these songs that sound like video games or or music for video games or like orchestra and classical music. Will you re-upload any video from Mora and Tifine? I actually want to make like the ones on Vimeo on YouTube, so they can get the subtitles. Do I still main Action 52? Probably not, because it was a very weird thing. Uh, from All Star Smashers, I would probably main Greg. From Greg Hifley. Uh, what's something that can kill a LOL? Basically, oh yeah, main in LOL infection. I don't know what LOL infection is. Sorry. Aside from Skinner and no. Why do I keep? What do I keep skipping questions? What's something that can kill a LOL? Basically, that the creator is a douche. Honestly. If the creator is just such a bad person, I don't want to support them anymore. That's a lol. That's dead. Uh, Aside from Skinner and Flanders, who are my favorite Simpsons secondary character? I love Hans Moleman. The whole idea that he's just an old man, not even an old man. He's 30 years old, but I love the fact that he's a fun. He's this one old dude who gets hit all the time. And I also really like Troy McClure, and I'm very sad that he's voice actor passed away and he couldn't appear anymore. Any fond memories of El Señor de las Mosquis? Uh, I watched it once. I'm surprised you know about El Señor de las Mosquis. Uh, I watched it once. It was very weird. I know it's based on some animated film called like The Animated Forest. Huh. I don't know. I never watched it as a kid, so I don't really have any fond memories of it. Do I voice act? No, Red and Leo are made by Aitor. So no, I don't make them. Who is my main? Well, I did voice act already in the Zack and Tetris thing. Who's my main in LOL Galaxy? Oh yeah, in LOL Galaxy. I would probably go with. I will probably go with Somari just because I really like bootlegs. They really fascinate me. So what do I expect from Ubisoft at E3? Rayman 4. Rayman 4. That's the one thing I want. Nothing else. Just Rayman 4. Or any Rayman game in general. I love Rayman. A lot. Especially 2. Have you seen the Sausage Party? No. And I'm not really interested into Sausage Party. Debuten, colegas. No. Will Nova get a standalone narrator video with a narrator just saying the characters' names? As I said, I'm probably just going to replace narrators with menu assists. Sorry. Will there any videos about the alternative costumes in Nova? Not videos. Definitely not making a video about that. And I will probably just make like images. I already did that on Facebook, and I will probably re-upload it to Twitter, or even I will probably re-upload it to Twitter, those images, and make more on Twitter and the Discord group, and probably even community posts on YouTube. Just not Facebook, because I hate Facebook. Besides Kaban, which character would I like to cross-dress? I just want to wear girl things in general. Like, I want to just take girl clothes and wear them. Because I want to feel like what I am. Not any specific character, honestly. Because I don't... Sometimes I just look at a pretty dress and I say, I want to wear that. What's my favorite bootleg video game? Not really sure. Because most bootleg games are really bad. That's the thing. A lot of games that are bootlegs are awful. Even the ones that people say that are the best, like Super Mario Land 4, I've suffered through Super Mario Land 4, especially then playing the Shin-Chan version and say, oh yeah, this thing I thought was really, that I thought was really bad and I wanted to change, is actually changed in the original. So, I will probably go with Somari. It's a fun game, even though it's kind of flawed. What in the update patch? What is your favorite set of the updates? And what is your least favorite? Like, what is my favorite updates and least favorite? My favorite update character is probably Guybrush. He went from being the worst to being the best. Not the best, but really good. As for my least favorite update, Toon Donkey Kong, because I didn't make any changes and he's going to get changes. And also Wars Hercules. Those are going to get updates in update patch 2. And then, what review do you want to get subtitles the most? The John Show. Like the first anniversary special, and also any of the anniversary specials in general. Do you think Motomoto has the assist trophy? But, again, this is just a will you make that I can confirm that Motomoto is not going to be an assist trophy in LoL Nova. Most hyped Mayhem character. The thing is, I know your characters, Matrix, but I don't know the ones that you have actually revealed. And I think the one that I'm the most excited for is like a secret. But from the ones that you have, like, for sure, uh, and like revealed, it's probably Mad Pixel. Because that's a stupid game. I love Mad Pixel. What editing software have you used the most? Oh, VideoPad, but I don't use VideoPad anymore because it sucks. Uh, Basically, it ruins things with the rendering, so I'm just using Premiere now. Uh, LOL Inception in my LOL, very cool. What is my favorite character in DuckTales the reboot? Oh, that's. It's probably Webby. I really like. Again, it's kind of like how much I love Mabel. So a character that's very similar to her, I'm going to like her a lot. But I also get a lot of laughs from Joe McQuack. I think he's really funny, and his whole joke of how he can crush everything. And even then, in the Spanish version, he's voiced by the same guy who voices Fry from Futurama. So that's a plus. My opinion on Endgame. I will probably have to watch it again, but I don't know, man. I know that there is a lot of people discussing like the flaws of it, but I really, really liked Endgame. I found it to be a very spectacular film. Even if I rewatch it again, I notice the flaws. I'm not going into spoilers, but the whole thing with Thanos, you guys know what about Thanos. I kind of wish they didn't did that, but it's fun. It's fine. It's a fun movie in general. I'm a fan of the Marvel movies. Not so awesome. I don't want to talk about not so awesome or like drama in general, mainly because I have similar things to not so awesome, so they get me flashbacks. And I don't want flashbacks. Um, I'm not very interested into Neptune. Oh wait, uh, any LOLs that are no longer around, but I want to see a second chance. I don't remember the name, but I really like the one that had like the real Doctor Doom. That one was really well animated, and they only made one moveset, and it sucks. Uh, oh yeah, I'm not very interested into Neptunia, but she was in the empty slot 4 because a lot of people wanted to see her. And if she had won, I will probably have played the games, and maybe Neptunia would have been in there. Favorite Geometric fight characters that I haven't made into OCs. I really like Ghoston. He's the one of the bosses of the game. He's called Ra, and he's like an Egyptian god. And when you beat him, he becomes Ghoston, and he's the same, but he's a skeleton ghost. That's a really cool concept. I really like Ghoston. He's probably my favorite Joy fight character that's not in Retropocon. And also Dachon. I think that's the name. It was the ostrich. Favorite franchise that doesn't have a Nova rep, Kirby. Do I want to watch Detective Pikachu? Yes, but on DVD. And do I have any bad movies that I enjoyed watching, like The Room? Project Ninja's Daredevils. Like, we know about the famous scene with the purple ninja and the Yellow Ninja, but that movie in general is a lot of fun. There is a part in which there is one girl that's getting a massage, and a ninja kills her like that. It was really funny. That's I really like watching. I really enjoy watching bad movies in general. Also, like the Dingo Pictures and this other one, Good Times. Those are really fun to watch because of how bad they are. Do I like dinosaurs? Not really into them. Sorry. What's the most difficult moveset to create in Low Nova? She's not out yet, but Isabel, because she's because she comes from a webcomic that has a very detailed art style, and when in that comic a character is like full body, they are like chibi, so their sprites are going to be difficult, but it's going to be so much worth it. Can you think of any examples of the John Show but don't write? Not really, because the John Show is such a broad concept that basically anything done right is the John Show done right. And have I seen a YouTube Kids video? And it's kind of late, so this one question is going to be the last one, and these two questions are going to be the last ones. Have I heard of Metal Slug? Questions are going to I'm not going to answer so many questions. Sorry. I have played Favorite Slug. I really like those videos. No, those games. They are probably some of my favorite arcade games, and my favorite is of course Fio. Actually, I wouldn't mind cosplaying as Fio either. She's fun. She's a big nerd like me. And can I hear some French from you? Yeah, and this is what I'm going to say. Au revoir. See you next time.